Ladies and gentlemen, I'd ask you to please rise as the Lawrence Police Honor Guard will present colors, followed by the singing of our national anthem from the Lawrence High School Girls Ensemble.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I would ask you to remain standing, and this time I would like to invite up Father Joel Almano of the Grace Episcopal Church to offer this evening's invocation.
Let us pray. O Lord, our supreme leader, bless the leaders of our land, that we may be a people at peace among ourselves and a blessing to other nations of the earth. Bless Barack Obama, our president, the governors of our states, the mayors of our cities, and especially our mayor, Daniel Rivera. Bless our fire department and the chief of the department. And in particular, O Lord, bless our police department and the chief of the police today. And to all who are in positions of authority, grant them wisdom and grace as they exercise their duties. Finally, O Lord, teach our people to rely on your strength and to accept their responsibilities to their fellow citizens, that they may elect trustworthy leaders and make wise decisions for the well-being of our society, that we may serve you faithfully in our generation and honor your holy name. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
Please be seated. At this time, I will call upon the Mayor of the City of Lawrence, the Honorable Daniel Rivera, to administer the oath and offer his remarks.
Good evening. That's okay, you guys can say it back. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's not a solemn occasion, it's a very exciting occasion, so I want to make sure we're up and we're enjoying this thing. One of the things I get to do, that if we do right, there'll be 3 or 4 mayors between me and the next time they do this. Because we hope that there'll be that type of longevity in the office. I want to talk a little bit about how we got here today, and I think that for some extent, Jim and I had a path that was similar. I found myself in Colleen's one day after we had laid off a bunch of police officers, talking to some lady from National Grid, trying to figure out how we could save money on our street lights so we can bring some cops back. It turned out it was Jill Fitpatrick. She's like, I know, we need to figure this thing out because, my husband is a captain on the police force. And I didn't even know that. I mean, we were really trying to. In that year, when we did those layoffs, we did end up finding about $800,000 to put back into the budget. Not quite made the difference we wanted it to make, but the effort was there. But then, I got elected mayor, and I think one of the biggest jobs I have ahead of me, the biggest job that we as the city council have ahead of us, is to pick a new chief of police. I think I'd be remiss, actually, if I don't mention our colleagues in government who are here with today, who always help us in this process. Council President Melissa Maldonado's in the audience. I think a round of applause for Council Maldonado. Can see Representative Marcos Devers in here? Representative Devers up front. Senator Italian. So right in front of you. In his swan song, our friend and our colleagues, Roger Toomey is with us in the back. Roger. We're gonna miss you, Roger. And I know that we have 2 school committee members here with us in the back. Our friend Jimmy Blatchford in the back. And I think I saw Giovanni Rodriguez too, Giovanni school committee members. But, you know, as I said at the time, we talked about it at the city council meeting, you know, I had every intention of being, putting together a search committee, because that's what I did when I worked for Mayor Dowling. In my little room in the back in the mayor's office, I faxed away like maybe 300 applications to every name that I thought was cool that's back in the days when the World Wide Web was brand new, so they have every commanding officer on the website for every department. They stopped doing that, by the way. Not everybody's on the website anymore. And so I started to fax all these applications out to people. I got a call back, some sergeant from the Bronx. He says, hey, who told you John Romero's looking for a job? I said, nobody. I just started, put his name in. I thought he'd be interested. He goes, you should stop sending those to people, because they're coming into the middle of the department and everybody thinks that everybody's looking for a job. And it's a really political thing. I was embarrassing all these police officers I didn't know. Long story short, I've been through that process about how you hire a police chief, and it was very cantankerous. So we get into office and we get into the business of doing all this work, and I just kept thinking, I'm not really sure why the search for the police chief is not really that high on my agenda. Why isn't it the thing that I think about every time I get up? Every time we have a department head meeting, we brought back department head meetings, by the way, so every Monday we're talking about what's going on. And it's because something that I used to say about John Romero. People like, hey, the police department has these problems, the police department has these problems, the police department has these problems. We have to do something with the chief. And I said, of all the departments, you think the police department is the worst off? I'm not gonna worry about that department because there's so many other ones. And that's what I found myself doing with Jim. There was just, problems would come up and Jim would handle them in such a professional way that I just felt the ease was there. The answers were there, the leadership is already there. And I'm a smart enough guy to know when you don't overthink a decision, and when you see the real answer to what's in front of our community there. And this is a big decision, because I think as we go forward, as things change in this new America and this new society, the new policing that all of you guys face that are in uniform is really important. I think I see Diana DiZoglio, our state representative, just walking in the back. Hi, Diana, just with us today. A round of applause for our friend Diana. So I think that this is a really special occasion for us and for me, having gone through that process with Chief Romero and him having such longevity. My expectations is understanding what Chief Fitpatrick brings to the table is going to be just as long. We are joined by a lot of people from not only government but also from the judiciary, and I think it's important to note. And if you could just stand when I call your name. Judge Lynn Rooney, the presiding justice in Lawrence District Court, is with us. Judge Kevin Gaffney. Judge Mark Sullivan. Our friend Juvenile Court Judge Mark Newman. Our friends who meet us sometimes at our ComStat meeting, Keith McDonough, Clerk Magistrate, Lawrence District Court. Kevin Hannaberry, Chief Probation Officer, Lawrence District Court. And First Deputy Assistant District Attorney representing Jonathan Blodgett, Mary Alice Doyle is with us. We had a meeting today with all the Gateway City chiefs. And another reason why I think that, I think Chief Fitpatrick is a great fit for this. I consider myself in this, and you might not know this by the amount of press we get, but I really consider myself more a workhorse than a show horse. And I think that that's what we have in our chiefs. So we had all the chiefs there today. And you could just tell by the presence. You don't have to say much when you're amongst all these guys who have all these time on the job. And who's talking, who's not talking. I think it showed a level of respect from each other, and our chief stood tall. But with us today, who was there also this morning, was Chief Joseph Solomon from the Thune Police Department. Is he still with us? Who's with us? Chief Patrick Keith from the Andover Police Department. Lieutenant Colonel Edward Amadeo from Massachusetts State Police. Did I get that right? Major Arthur Shagru from the State Police. I apologize if I murdered your name there, sorry. So, again, in the spirit of what awaits us in the coming era and under new chief, I would just say that ahead of time, thank you, Jill, for lending him to us for as long as we're going to have him, and thank you, Jim. I'll stop calling you Jim later when you become chief for you. For standing up and deciding to take the job, and knowing after spending so much time in the job to still want it. So thank you so much. So if I can call James X. Fitzpatrick to the stage for the oath of office. So raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, James X. Fitzpatrick,
I, James X. Fitzpatrick,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold and defend
I will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Lawrence.
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Lawrence.
I do further swear and affirm
I do further swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties and responsibilities
I will execute the duties and responsibilities
incumbent upon me as Chief of Police
incumbent upon me as Chief of Police
for the City of Lawrence, Massachusetts.
for the City of Lawrence, Massachusetts.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thanks again for all of you being here. I appreciate the representation from my family, friends, community, the Lawrence Police Department, the delegation from the state, Barbara Italian, Senator. Thank you for coming. Especially, I want to thank several people. Actually, you know what? Let me start with a story, a real quick story, and I won't bore you. Excuse me. When I first became interested in law enforcement, my father was a captain in the Lawrence Police Department, and I don't think it was well received by him. He tried to discourage me in positive ways, I would say. At the time, we had a small contingent of FBI agents assigned to what now is a Northern Essex Community College building right across the street from the post office, and he said, look, come along with me, and these guys are really professional, and this might be something you want to get into. The FBI, they're top notch, and all that kind of Elliot Ness type of thing going on. So we went over there, and then I'm like, what do I need to get? Oh, you have to get an accounting degree, and I'm like, Dad, I'm not interested in that. So he was like, okay, all right, well, let's go to the state police barracks. So he takes me to A1 over in Andover. Lieutenant Roach was in charge at the time, and so they put me in there, and then they have me counting their, doing inventory and whatnot, and I'm like, no, Dad, I really want to work in Lawrence, and he's like, what about Methuen? I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't want to work there. And so finally he says, okay, all right, you want to work in Lawrence, so. So, anyways, he's like, I'm doing an internship as part of being at Lawrence High School. So he goes, all right, so you want to see what the streets are all about. So needless to say, he puts me with, I don't know if anybody in the room will remember Ronald Jansky, but he was not really a really friendly guy. So he's like, what are you doing with me, kid? And all this, so on and so forth. So needless to say, I stuck it out. He was very supportive when I made the decision to finally become a police officer, and I look back at it, and it's a great decision. It wasn't only a great decision for me, it was a great decision for my father, my brother, and I can't go without saying this, the city of Lawrence has always been very, very good to my family. We were always taken care of, Christmas time and everything like that, so I consider ourselves a fortunate family and a family of the city of Lawrence. So my heart is always in Lawrence. My fidelity will be to the police department and the city of Lawrence. And I think I speak for a lot of people that are here that represents the police department, that, Lawrence is a unique place. It's difficult to police in an urban community, but as Rivera talked about, we went through some thin times. We had some layoffs. The vast majority of people that were laid off came right back to the city. And I think that is because not only does it provide unique challenges, it provides unique rewards. We all know we came from this community. It's an immigrant community. Everybody gets their start here. And I think as police officers and city government and state government, we want to support the people that want to have a start here, an honest start. And that's very important to me, and I know it's important to the people that work for me, in the city and state government that supports us, constantly supports us through dollars and coming to meetings and getting involved with the community. So we're a community within a community, supporting them. I'd like to thank several groups of people. My wife, Jill, Joe, and CJ, wish you could be here, for their love and support throughout my law enforcement career. Again, to all the state and local elected officials, without your support, I wouldn't be standing here. To the neighborhood groups, community leaders that are here, constant support and collaboration. That's the most important thing about community, is collaboration. We get our mandate in how we enforce and serve the community from you. And don't ever forget that, because that's why we're here. And also, part and parcel of what we do every day as a police department. To Judge Rooney and her colleagues in the judiciary, the Lawrence District Court, Chief Magistrate Keith McDonough and his staff, Chief Probation Officer Ken Henneberry and his staff, District Attorney Jonathan Blodgett and his staff, Sheriff Frank Cousins. We couldn't, achieve the goals that we want without their support, as well as our partners in the state police. To area chiefs, and also state police and sheriff's department. Being the new kid on the block, you provided me with a lot of mentorship, and that's greatly appreciated. To our new fire chief, Brian Moriarty, great partner in the fire service. Lastly, and this goes without saying, the men and women in the Lawrence Police Department who sacrifice so much and work hard every day in an urban community. It does not go unnoticed by me. I may not say it every day, but I know how hard it is out there. That's where I came up through the ranks. I am honored and privileged to be a chief of such a great police department. Thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
We're going to have the girls ensemble come back up and do God Bless America, I believe.
God bless bless America. Let our love stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you so much. That ends our event, and stay around, say hi to folks who will be around for some photos, and thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Chief.